everyone, Kat here. Hope you're all doing really well. So, if you've been following me for a while, this is a bonus video, and welcome back. If you're new, you're probably looking for the animal videos that I normally post as shorts on Wednesday, and I'll link those in the description box below with the whole huge playlist. And then, it's hard to see, but I've got a little cutie keeping me company here. She's mad because it's past her nap time and I'm not feeding her yet. And my voice is still a little weird, so you'll have to forgive me, but I've got my, Gryffindor cup full of strawberry vanilla tea. Because the October was crazy. There was a lot of videos that I wanted to post, but there was a lot of videos that I wanted to do. So I just did not have time for it, and then getting sick and only pretty much doing shorts last week didn't help that. So we're doing a bonus today. We'll be doing our October wrap-up, which was a bit of a, that was a very meh kind of month. I had a couple books that I really liked, a couple that I actually ended up DNFing, and most were just kind of like 3-star averagey books. Not what I was expecting for October, which, it's Halloween. It's my favorite time of year. I still have not undecorated, though. To be fair, most of this stays up year-round anyway. And I don't have a Christmas blankie. So, yep, we got the Halloween on the couch. And if you're hearing something in the background that's not quite bookish, that would be Anastasia. And you can blame Allie for that, and I will link her channel down below, because she's awesome. But she posted a video last night about, fantasy books that we need to get into. And one of them was an Anastasia retelling. And so now I just, I like the movie. It's been a minute. I had to watch it now. And I was feeling naked, so I had to bust this out. And it's, y'all probably can't see it here, but it's the Lord of the Rings ring. Yep. It's awesome. Because you can't have a BookTube channel and, not be Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I mean, they're classic epics for a reason. Everybody loves them. So, was I not petting you correctly? It's time for the corner nap. She was, pretty much head on my thigh, whereas I curl up in my corner to read and do whatever, she likes the other corner of the couch for her nappy times. So, it's Franny's nappy time, and we're going to let her have that one and get into the books. So, one of the ones that I read for October 4 was Dean Koontz's Icebound. It's been on my TBR for a couple months, and it was good, but it was also a major disappointment, because I wanted to do reviews for some of these, but we're going to throw that into the wrap-up video because I did not get around to recording, reviews. And this one, if it had been written by anybody else, I probably would have really enjoyed it, but it's Dean Koontz. I expect horror. I didn't know what the heck this was about, other than something to do with ice, because the back says nothing. There's nothing anywhere that tells me what it's about. This is a thriller. It's a Arctic expedition that's okay, we need to do something about all these droughts and people not having water for their crops, so people are starving because droughts are bad and we don't have food. So we're gonna, drag a, bit of blasted off polar, ice cap to, all these food production companies that are, struggling and get them some water so that they can make food and we don't starve to death anymore. And they go to do that and, okay, how does this work? Is it going to be able to, how much is it going to melt? Is it going to flow? Or are we going to have to, tug it and not be able to do it? So they go to do that, and there's a crap ton of storms, and, underwater earthquakes and tsunamis, and just, it's a friggin' mess. And in the midst of their, they've set, 60, explosives set to go off at midnight to blast off this chunk. And they don't have to set them off to break off the chunk because storm hits, creates an underwater earthquake, it does its thing, and the ice cap that they are on breaks off. And so now they are on the verge of freezing to death because they are stranded on the ice in like -60, and they didn't plan on that. So they are not at all prepared, and all these things go wrong, and yeah, it's good, but it's Teen Koontz. It's supposed to be horror. I mean, it's horrific for them, but it ain't for us. It's just a thriller. So, yeah, that's my bone to pick with this one. And then a really good book that I read for Occult Detective October, hosted by MJ and Michael K. Vaughn and Olly and a bunch of other folks that I will tag down below. It's number 9 in the Dres Files by Jim Butcher. So, yeah, I jumped way ahead, but this is the one that I got my hands on, and I really enjoyed it. He's popular for a reason. Like, I've been hearing about him forever. I just never gave him a shot, and then he was at my favorite used bookstore, and for $4, I was giving it a go. So, like, we got magic, and witches, and murder mystery, and vampires, and backstabbing, and just, like, it's magical, it's political, it's a murder mystery, it's family drama, it is a good freaking time. I'm gonna have to get some of the others from my awesome coworker, because he said he has the whole series, and we both love reading, and are sharing off our bookcases, so, yeah, I might have to hit him up for another one. Good time. And then, like, for the most part, my physical books were good, thankfully. So we're starting off on a high note. We'll end on the bad note, because, you know, want to start off happy. So this one was another off my TBR challenge with myself. Creepers by David Morrell. This is another author that it just looked cool, and I've never heard of this author. It was kind of like a murder mystery thriller, but creepy. It's basically like these folks were, they were like urban explorers, I think is like what they're called, or, yeah, creepers, hence the name, as they're, breaking into this like abandoned hotel that's getting ready to be demolished, that it's sat vacant for like 20 years at this point, and just like exploring it, and everything goes wrong, because folks, like, they think they're alone, and they aren't, and there's injuries, and murder, and, like, there's a nice, deep finding out who is behind all of this, and not necessarily some honest motivations that we find out from, like, people aren't exactly what they say to be, or, yeah, like, this isn't, like, horror, but it is pretty freaking creepy. So, like, if you like murder mystery, if you like exploring, if you like it a little bit dark, like, this isn't, like, monster scary, but it's very atmospheric. Like, they're in a storm at night in this abandoned, falling down hotel that every room that they get into, there is another creepy, disturbing, element. So, this was a good time. And that's what I got my tea for. Which, you can't go wrong with strawberry. It's so good. But then we've got Kingdom of the Wicked, which this looks absolutely terrifying, but I got it in the YA section. So it's the first in a series. I think there's 3 of them, and then like a spinoff. But this takes place in Italy, and it's about witches that have basically, like, made a deal with the devil, but at the same time are like, oh crap, we need to hide from him, because these demons are, well, they're demons, and we kind of stole power from them, and they're trying to kill us, so we have to hide. But also, it's 16th century? It's a really long time ago, back, like, oh my god, witches are real, we need to burn them time. But it's in Italy, which is not a setting that I normally read, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. But essentially, we've got these twin sisters that are, like, we have to make sure and do the protection charms. We have to hide you from these demons that are coming to get you, and their grandma's been telling them all these stories. And there's, like, witch hunters, and, of course, they're young girls, they're teenagers. Psh, that's old stories. Gran's just nuts trying to scare us. And then, the witches from various clans that they don't meet because they don't want to, like, they might catch on to us, and the witch burnings are really not that far behind us here. But, like, they kind of know each other and go, they keep dying. And we end up with, it's like a romance, a murder mystery. We've got cool political intrigue. We've got witches making deals with demons. But I was there and I'm going, you think I made a deal with you? Really? But screw you. I'm going to take you on and I'm going to kick your butt. And the plot twist at the end is, like, it's romance, but it's, we're enemies to lovers, but not really. I still hate you. And, you think you can pull this? Well, try me. So, I definitely need to get my hands on the sequel of this. Like, it's not too high stakes, because it's young adult, but it's still a really friggin' good time. It's, if you want creepy, but not over the top, and just beautiful, atmospheric, a little kind of sort of romance, but you're like me and more of, like, it needs to be romance adjacent, and there needs to be lots of snark. Yeah, like, that's the only way I do romance, is, like, fairy tales where, these women got some attitude. There's no damsel in distress going on here. Even if we are damsels and we are in distress, we'll go Meg on you. We will get ourselves out of it. So, yeah, that's what's up. And then I gotta bust out the Harry Potter journal because I cannot remember what all I read. It was 10 books and 2 DNFs. And the rest of these I found them on Kindle Unlimited. They might still be Potter Kindle Unlimited. It changes regularly. And depending on the area. So I started off with Shadow Beasts by Nellie H. Steele. And, like, it's about a magical library. Like, how is that not flippin' perfect? I thought it was going to be kind of like the Librarian, like, short movie TV series from way long time ago. That, if you haven't seen it, it's got Noah something, that ER doctor guy, and they turned it into a TV show. And it was a really good time. It was okay. Like, solid 3 stars. Like, we had a magic library. We got werewolves. She has a helpful dragon. There's, like, adventures. Like, they end up looking for this magical, like, artifact that was supposed to just be myth. But, dragons and vampires and werewolves are just myth, too. And then, gotcha, no, they're not. They're real, and they're hidden, like, stuff about them and some of their artifacts under a library. Where she thought she was going to be just a normal old librarian. Like, why do I need secret clearance? Like, what's the big deal? Oh, because, I'm not cataloging books. At least not ones that, normal people get to read. So it had a lot of potential, but it just didn't really, like, I don't know. I didn't fully connect with anything. It was kind of like, there's stakes, but it's a series, so there's only one main character. She's got to make it through. It was just kind of average for me. And then I read Grimm, which is the first in the Withering Mysteries series by Amy Boyle. And I'm like, is this going to be fairytale Grimm brothers? Like, what's up? And again, this is kind of like a very, like, young adult-ish, like, getting towards, like, maybe new adults. I wouldn't really call, like, I thought maybe fairy tales. No, like, it's magic in small town, but this is monster hunters. And it's Grimm, because Grimm is our main, like, monster hunter character, who befriends a monster and, goes to deal with his kind of sort of former, like, friend, acquaintance kind of dude. That's, like, lives in this little idyllic, created village where it's like, yep, I filmed a movie here, built it, turned the, castle into a real castle for my daughter, And we all have magic here, and it's just this idyllic little village, like, in the middle of Tennessee woods, that, you know, got old world charm and a straight up medieval castle, and people dying, and secrets. And what's behind it is this former, you know, hunter that's like, yeah, I need you to help get rid of this beast, because I'm amazing and I'm rich, and you suck because you had to rely on your skills that I don't have, and instead, I got tech to help me, and then I just sold it off, because I actually suck. But, like, all help, like, you have been attacked by something, and by a withering, and it's, you know, slowly, like, turning this, our hunter, evil. He's like, well, I could help cure you, but only if you do this for me. If not, you might turn evil and kill my daughter, but I'm gonna pretend that's not important, because I just want to use you. And he's just typical, he's a jerk. And, like, the ending is so satisfying. Like, I really want to read more of this series. Like, it's monster hunters, and the monster hunter makes friends with monsters, and has been, like, essentially infected by one. And the bad guy is, like, this cliche rich dude that you just love watching him eventually get it. It's satisfying. Just, yes. And then I read Bitten by Death, which was the first in the Vegas Immortals series by Holly Roberds. And this is another where I just love the attitude. Like, there was definitely, like, some tension going on. There's definitely going to be romance, but it's vampires and gods and the Grim Reaper. And, like, I just love how our main character, like, is, like, well, I was killed, and then I apparently wasn't. I woke up in the morgue, and there was a doggy that I wanted to pet, except for then it was like, I might eat you. And she's on the run trying to figure out, like, how did I end up dead, and how did I turn into a freaking vampire? What? Like, I want to be a good person. I don't want to be killing people. But I need blood. So I'm living off rats, and it sucks. And she gets a lead to, like, you were here on the night that I died. And the Grim Reaper comes and messes everything up and goes, you're a vampire. I have to kill you. But first I'm going to use you to figure out how you became a vampire. Because I thought I wiped y'all all out a couple centuries ago. And in the end, it's like, well, they're totally enemies. But they, like, both think the other one's like, well, once you're actually cleaned up, you're kind of hot. And they just love giving each other crap. And the butler just sitting there going, yeah, she gives you crap, whereas everyone else is scared of you, and you want to be pissed off at her, but you're kind of enjoying it. So, yeah, that was the main thing for me. Like, the storyline was okay, but I loved all the snark. Like, I can tell it's going to become a romance, so I'm probably going to drop it after another book or two, but I'm loving the sass right now. And I tried Dead to the World, which is the first in the Crossroads Queen series by Annabel Chase. And this one had all the potential, like, yeah, we got the small town charm, we got all kinds of, like, magic and monsters. And she just wants, like, she bought this crumbling, like, pretty much castle, like, it's got a straight up moat. Like, oh my god, this is gonna be a good time. And everybody's giving her crap that's like, who bought this falling down, like, mess of a thing with a graveyard in the backyard, and nobody's seen them? And then, it's like, it was just kind of, it's like, we know our main character's something. She's super magical, and, oh my gosh, she's, like, all-powerful. But we don't know what she can do, because she won't use her powers, because she doesn't want people to know that she's anything. Including the vampires and werewolves that she, like, makes acquaintances with. Oh, this little man needs to go under, okay. Apparently, it's safe enough that he can go off-guard duty. It needs to be tucked in. But it is, like, they were trying to build suspense, and I can respect that, but they tried, like, for me, it was trying too hard of, yeah, I get you don't want to tell us immediately, like, what kind of super special, like, creature you are, what kind of magic you have, and we definitely don't want, like, your neighbors to know what you are, kind of build that up, but at least kind of give a hint to the audience. Because she sits there and talks to ghosts. Like, you could tell the people that aren't going to know. But it's like 400 pages, and we all we find out is that she has something to do with dead people. And if she has anything to do with like singing, playing instruments, like music will somehow expose her superpower. I don't know. They tried too hard for suspense, and it just bothered me. And like, I found the perfect Halloween book was All Hallows Eve. A witchy, ghosty, like, plot in Salem on Halloween, like, with a witch coming back from, like, beyond that was killed a century ago in the Salem witch trials. Like, it's the perfect freaking book. I don't know what else to say other than it's by Michael Penning, and if you love Halloween and witches and fall, and it's the perfect book. Go get it. And then, perfect as far as atmosphere goes, is I read Autumn of the Grimoire, which is the first in the Solstice Sister series. And I love the author's name, J.L. Vampa. So she's writing witches instead of vampires with that perfect last name, but it's fall, like, the Solstice Sisters, it's only a trilogy, and that's awesome and also bad because I cannot freaking stand the Winter Witch. Like, there's 4 witches, and each of them are for a season, and it starts off with autumn, or, you know, what us Americans call fall, and I read it in the fall, but I can't stand, like, we're going into winter, and Winter is the sister that, she is just, I get she's the oldest, so she's had, like, the, responsibility on her a little bit longer, but she's just a snobby, I'm smarter than everyone and better than everyone, and, like, you're the rich billionaire that everyone wants to get to see eaten. And the sequel is her book, that thankfully includes other chapters from other people. But this one, it follows her Autumn Witch, who is just like, I can do it myself. And she's ticked because the Grimoire gives them orders that are from their elders that get them from, Hespa, or, the original goddess 3, like, that gave them all the powers. And so she's been tasked, like, she hates it because she always gets these, you have to go spread disease, or you have to slaughter this person, or whatever. Like, you have to set off these events that affect history. And, like, spring and summer, they get to go, here, we're going to get this one to fall in love, or, we're going to mess up this person's crops. Yeah, mostly lighthearted stuff. Nope, she is dour. She is perfect for autumn. Like, she dresses in all black. She loves the pumpkins and the mystique, and leave me alone. I do not want to deal with humans. And this time she has been tasked she has to go to this kingdom that she hasn't been in a century. And we slowly find out why she's been avoiding it. And then she gets there and goes, great, I have to marry somebody. I don't want to get married. Leave me alone. But, if they don't do what they're told, then there will be, like, massive consequences, which for her means never seeing her favorite sister ever again. So, crap, I don't want to do this, but I love my sister, so I'll suffer through this. And she has to marry the prince, who is just, he's a prince, he's a snob. Ugh, you're a peasant. Fine, I guess I'll marry you, because then the other peasants will think that, we're listening to them and we care about them instead of looking down on them. We're not actually going to change our attitude, but we're bringing one of them into the castle and pretending that they're part of the family. Maybe they won't, like, go all French Revolution in office. And then there, of course, we can't leave it at that. There's all this mystery and intrigue, and this is enemies to lovers done the right way. It's not, well, oops, I kept putting up with you and you were hot, and we finally decided that we're gonna bang, which means we're in love. Like, no, this is, we straight up, like, we hate each other, but we've been forced into this situation, and then in dealing with it, find out that, we might hate each other for the wrong reasons. Like, yes, we have some beef, and we do not want this situation, but we're both kind of pretending to be something that we're not for actually decent reasons, and going through some crap that we have to, like, I'll go, like, the devil I know, and so the devil that I don't know, but I definitely know is a devil. And they, like, slowly start to, like, okay, I don't hate you anymore. And build up to that, actual romance where they finally actually like each other. But she still, cannot resist giving him crap every chance that she gets. And he walks into a lot of it. So it's romance, but it's not, mush. We get a little kind of tension towards the end, but it's done well. There's nothing, explicit if you're worried about that. And if you do want that, I can point you to some people that read that a lot. But it was a good time. I'm reading the sequel now, and I'm not sure I'm going to finish that one, because there's way too much of winter. And then the 2 books that I DNF'd, I was so excited for both of these. Monster City by Kevin Wright. It's monsters! I love a creature feature. And it starts off, it's so much potential. We've got a guy, this EMT dude, get into this crime scene, thinks it's a dead guy until the dead guy bites him. And, oops, he wasn't dead. And apparently there's, they're ghouls and reapers, and they don't call them vampires and goblins and stuff. They, have other names for it. It's pretty much, hey, they take over the city at night. And then it's just, it's 500 pages, and I got about 60 pages in. And they were letting one of the creatures be chained up, because, oh my gosh, he's gonna eat everyone. But also, he's the judge of this supposed murder trial, because our Bitten guy got attacked and had to leave his home, ended up in the homeless shelter. And one of the homeless guys was like, here, you can wear my clothes because you're soaking wet. And so they thought that he had killed the homeless guy and stole his stuff. So he was up on a murder trial being judged by a monster and represented by another one that was on some stuff. Yeah, he's like, wait, you're supposed to be defending me, but you're trying to get me, offed and saying that I'm guilty. And you're going to feed me to the judge. Which sounds really cool, but it was just so slow, and there are way too many, felt like it was a couple storylines trying to go together that might have met up into something, and then another 200 pages, but I ain't got the patience for it. And then another one that I was really excited for, it sounds awesome, the cover is beautiful and creepy. It's Autumn Gothic by Bowyer. And if you want pointless slasher, this is it. It's 5 different storylines. And 4 of them are we're just killing people. And we're totally casual about it. I was going to be good. But then my girlfriend said she'd kill me because I caught her killing somebody in the basement. So I had to leave town. And I wanted to go get some drugs first. And people were doing bath salts. So, they tried to eat me. So then I had to kill them. And then I was going to go see my dad. Because he's, a bouncer and a boxer. And just randomly, snapped some guy's neck and was like, yeah, hey, you're my girlfriend now because I gave you drugs last night. Help me throw this body in the trunk and we'll bury it tomorrow. And, ooh, I think this girl's hot, so I'm going to kill somebody to impress her because I know she's a sociopath. And then there's, the one romance of, well, this chick is either trying to hit on me and doing a bad job of it, or she's stalking me and going to kill me. She came over and talked to me, and she was just doing a bad job of trying to hit on me, so we banged on the train, and then a week later, I took her to go meet my mom, and she, there's potential, that one storyline sounds good, she lives in, pretty much half the time with her mom, who lives in, the world's biggest house, in the middle of the woods, and it's, the most haunted place ever, but that's 25% in, and it's only one storyline. I like that one. That it's it makes no sense. I thought they were stalking me to kill me, but since they were hot, we hooked up and we're totally in love and drunk after a week. All we do is drink vodka and hook up. But let's meet my mom and live in a haunted house together. So it's unbelievable, but it had potential, but I couldn't get into the other 4 storylines. So yeah, that's what's up. And this is a really long video, so I'm not sure my phone will let me edit it and save another version of this that's copied and edited. So There might be some pictures here of the Kindle books. Possibly not if I edit it and then it goes, you don't have enough room on your phone. So hopefully some of those sound good, or I have warned you off of ones that you're like, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, thanks for the heads up. And I will see you soon, or probably next week with all the other videos if I get them recorded. Bye! Happy reading!